Hello, welcome back. Part 5 now of the Harkonnen Ornithopter. So this is from the film June. This is a Meng kit in 1/72 scale. And as you remember, in part 4 we fitted the blades and we did some undercarriage work and stuff. Since then I've had all this apart. I've glued some bits and pieces together, done some seam sealing. You can see I've filled all those gaps in the legs and everything. This is the retracted undercarriage, this is the deployed. And I've basically snapped it all back together. Now some say this is a snap kit. I kind of disagree, because when you look at this, it all comes apart very easily. So I wouldn't recommend having this as a snap kit. Now I've left all that loose so that I can paint it all individually, so I don't end up with bits of brown plastic showing through. We've got our rotor blades there, or blades, whatever you want to call them. Well, they're not rotor blades, are they? They're dragonfly wings. And this is the retracted undercarriage. And if you want to use the stand, so at the back of the instructions we have this stand, you can only use it with the retracted undercarriage, because as you can see, the bottoms are sort of, other than being deployed, they're kind of identical, but you can see it's only this one that has these two square holes, which is where the stand actually clips in. So let's have a look at the stand. I'm not sure if it's all going to snap together or what. So basically, bloody stapled bags, I hate them. That's caught in a hole. Right, so we're going to get all that out of the way. So we've got our stand. This bag is open because I had to get something out. I can't remember what now. I think there's some polycaps, wasn't there, or something. We've got some decals there as well. Forgotten about those. So here there is no cleanup. Yes, there is. There's a bit of a rough edge there, which is understandable. It's literally a couple of swipes like that and it's gone, so it's nothing to worry about. Alright, so that's that. And then we can get our snips. We can remove the parts from the sprue. Looks like it's fairly simple. There we are. Right. Nip off those sprue gates. And then we'll see how good the seam is. What we may well do is deal with that one. I tend not to waste my time with sprue gates when they're on seams and they're actually on the outside surface. If they're not going to interfere, then I don't tend to worry about them, because you've got to sand anyway. It's like on fuselage halves or on wing leading edges or whatever. You're going to be sanding the leading edge or whatever it is, so you may as well just do it all together. There we go. That's gone like that. Right, so we're going to put these two together, see how well they fit. Yeah, that's not a very nice seam there, and that's not a very nice seam there. So I think what we'll do is take this apart, if I can, because I have no nails, because I chew them. Be very careful this doesn't just suddenly go through and I slice my hand off. There we go, that's getting that apart, and then I'll get a rule in there. That'll really help us to lever it apart. There we go. So what we can do, come on, I wouldn't trust that as a snap fit either. It's not, although it's quite difficult to get apart, as you can see me struggling with there, it's not going to stay like that forever. What we might be able to do is get away with putting some liquid cement in. As long as it's nice and clean, we may be able to just get away with sanding the seam, so we don't have to paint the stand. I'm not kind of planning on using the stand really. I may do, because it makes it easier to display, doesn't it? You don't need so much space. Okay, so let's get some of our EMA cement. In fact, no, I'll tell you what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this one. This is the Mr. Cement Deluxe. And the beauty of this is it's slightly thicker and it has a great big brush, so not only will it stay about for ages, but you can get plenty on there. Just like that. There you go. And then we can put on the inside of them, and it should be on the inside of these. Duh! Dodo. Idiot. Numbskull. And I'm going to put some on there. And I'm going to put some in there as well. So that should now just push together quite easily. There we are. Okay, and then once that's dry, I'll grab my why am I taking it out of there? I don't need to take that out of there. I'm going to grab some Mr. Cement S. Purely I use this one because it has a much bigger brush and you get much more cement on the brush for these bigger joints. It's also, if you've seen my recent video on testing cements, it's also a very good cement overall. I may actually move away from Tamiya Extra Thin and start to use this all the time, but with the Tamiya Extra Thin brush, because this brush is a little bit big and chunky for some stuff. So all I'll do is just decant this into a Tamiya Extra Thin bottle. So there we go. Right. Get some up around there. Make sure we've got a nice joint there. It looks like we're not going to get away with just doing this because we've got a step there, a gap. So it looks like if we want to use the stand, we've either got to get put up with the gap, or we're going to have to paint it. We shall see. We can perhaps just go around the edge and sort of try and do some artistic stuff. Right, so there we go. So that's like that, and then that is going to slot into there like that. And again, I would thoroughly recommend gluing that. I'm not going to glue it right now because it'd be easy to deal with these seams with that not fitted. In fact, I'm going to put some cement here to allow that to get to grips with itself. Right, so that's that done. And that's all gone together nicely. So we can put that to one side and we can throw our sprue away. We've got a couple of bags to go in the bin as well. We've also got this piece here, so we're going to take this off of there, grab a worn out 600 grit sanding stick, so it's more like 1,000, got another sprue gate there, we'll get rid of that, and just get rid of these, just like so. There we go, and then that should in turn plug into there and hold our model. Right, okay, so basically we can fit this to our model like so. Okay, so that's that, and then we can fit this, come here, fit that to the base like so, and then we can push that onto there, and that's all adjustable. I think you have to take it off to adjust it. And then we can put our ornithopter on there, so you can see we've got a nice stand for him to sit on. That's all cool. That's in a climb, or you can take that off of there, tip it over, and then we can have her on like that. Now we're in a dive with her blade straight back, just like she was in the film. So there we go, there's our different options. So we'll leave that like that, take that out of there in case the glue sticks it in there, and we can deal with that at a later date. So all of these legs I haven't glued in, and the reason for that is, as I say, I want to get them painted. Now you don't need to worry about having them all identified because it's very difficult to get them mixed up. As long as you test fit them all first, what I would suggest is dry fit them all so you've got them all in, and then go around and glue them in one by one. But I certainly don't think they're good enough to stay on their own, but I want to have them off to spray, because then I can get into all the nooks and crannies and guarantee we don't have brown plastic showing through. So once all that's done, so we've got all of that there now ready to be painted, I want to have a look at these clear parts. So those two bits as well, they've got to be painted. So these clear parts are, I believe, designed to clip in. Where's the end? Where is the end of this? See what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a knife, just cut it. There we are. That is how Meng pack their clear parts, and that is how Meng parts look. I mean, probably the best. Absolutely incredible. So, what I'm going to do first of all is check this plastic and see if it's soft or hard. Very hard, so we need to be very careful. So I'm going to get a saw. Now you can get these little saws. I'm going to use an ASK one because these are the ones you can buy today. This is the cranked one. You don't have to use the cranked one, you can just use a straight one. And what I'm going to do here is hold the clear part, and then I'm just going to saw it off. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this is because if we cut the clear plastic like this, you can hear that it's like a shock, it's not cutting. And what often happens, because you're basically pushing the clear part against the sprue, you can get like a splinter go into the clear part and it looks terrible. Alright, so I would not suggest going anywhere near these clear parts with your cutters, your nippers, whatever you want to call them. Alright, so now we've done that, we can trim the... You can see how hard it is, it's very hard indeed. So it's going to be quite scratch resistant, I believe. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is use a glass file. Now these are the Infini glass files. Absolutely brilliant thing. I'm going to use that because these glass files, they don't scratch the plastic. They will remove that sprue gate and they will polish whatever else is around. So I'm going to get the narrower one, use the medium. What we can do here is just sand that. You can hear it working, and then once that sprue gate is gone, hear it getting quieter? Now that sprue gate is all but gone. You can get the fine one, get the super fine. And you can see that sprue gate is gone, and it's actually polished to the edge of the plastic. They don't actually leave sanding marks. So these clear parts, put that on there so it gets scratched. They're designed to fit in the canopy, but somebody did comment very early days, I think it was even when I did the review, they commented that these horrible things are really visible. You can see these square lugs that it locates with. So I believe what's going to happen here, I think this is K1. So let's get this canopy off. So I believe that's going to go in there like that. I think these are designed to just clip in. And as you can see, we have these bright chrome squares that look bloody horrible, which is really unfortunate. So there's a couple of ways around that. What I'm going to do initially, we have a flange on there. And that is designed to fit into that flange. So what I'm going to do is grab a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and I'm going to colour in this whole ring around the edge of the clear part with the black Sharpie. Don't worry about getting any excess on the clear part because you can just wipe it off afterwards with a cotton bud. You could do this with paint if you want to and then wipe away the excess. But I'm going all the way around the edge now. And I always do this on my clear parts, so if you're used to watching my channel, you'll see me do this a million times before. There we go. Just go all the way around the edge. And colour in these black blocks as well. And hopefully that will help us to get rid of the view. Now instead of a nice chrome bright block, we can see a black block. So I have another idea. This was plan B. So if we put that in there now, you can hopefully see we don't have those horrible big square chrome blocks, but we do have the black. You can see it's a black block now. It's a very, very poor design actually. I'm very surprised that Meng have done this. They should have put the black block, they should have put the black blocks, they should have put the blocks sticking vertically out of the edge and then they wouldn't show up. This is real proper toy territory now. Instead of a nice model, we've got this horrible toy-like blocks to look at. What a letdown. And so to the person that commented on my channel initially, yeah, you're right, they're horrible, aren't they? Right, so it does look much better with them coloured in. But I think what I'm going to do is try and mask these windows and leave a frame around them so that when I paint, I'm going to paint like a 2mm wide band. Has that got in? They just designed to clip in, are they? That's cool. So when I paint, I'm just going to paint like leave a 1mm wide band around the window, and then that should give us, that should hide those blocks. We can see on there, if I grab a cotton bud, I can see on there that you can see here I've got some ink going up onto their window, so we'll try and get rid of that. Let's grab a drop of IPA, make sure we get IPA and not cellulose. Always mark the bottles up, guys, so you know what it is you've got. Okay, we'll squeeze the end of that down and then just get in there and give that a quick once over. That's that done. And then dry them off. And as you can see, they still don't look very nice. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is sort of paint a, it's such a shame, isn't it? That's a real bloody shame. That's really bad design work there. Whoever designed that, Meng, they need to find another job in a different department. We can wipe away the excess ink on here. And as you can see, it makes those bloody blocks all visible again. So yeah, that's a real shame. That is ruining the look of the model. So I will find a way around it. What I might even do is remove the blocks completely, polish the back of the glazing and then just glue them in. Let's have a little look. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so there is a rescue scheme. Right, basically I've sanded away those blocks from the back. Okay, and I've sanded them smooth. So now you will see when I fit this window in here, clip it in, it goes clip, hang on, wait for it to go click, there we go, clip. It still clips in, but we don't have that horrible chrome block at the bottom of the glazing. Now you can still see there's a gap there, so what I would suggest, what I'm going to do is mask off the window. I'm just going to get some Tamiya tape, some 6mm masking tape, and I'm going to lay a strip across the bottom of here and sort of try and go as close to the edge as I can. Then what I want to do is get the cotton bud and remove all of this excess ink, because it's going to look terrible. And what I'm going to do is spray, I'm going to paint, I'm going to have to do this under the magnifier because I can't see, but I'm going to spray a black line. Okay, and what we'll do is just trim this off, and I'm going to go all the way around and I'm going to paint it black, so that the actual, what we're doing, we're just going up to the edge. You've got like, where's my pointy tool? Here we go. We've got an edge here. There's like an edge all the way around, and I'm just going up to that edge. Okay, and then, I mean, what we could do here, if I need to get a nice new blade, but we could actually just come in here and just cut that along the edge, but that's not cut along the edge because I don't have a sharp enough blade. But that's what I'm going to do, and then that area there where the step is, or even just inside it, you can see how much of it there is. Yeah, I'm just inside, about 1/2 millimeter inside it, and you can see on there what we're going to end up with is this black internal frame, which would be shiny from the outside. It will look lovely. And what we can also do here is, with hourglass file, I can feel an edge on there. Just get rid of those blocks from the bottom, so we end up with a nice normal clear part with a straight edge, and not these stupid bloody locating blocks that have caused us a nightmare. If they'd done them as vertical lines that came out that way, you wouldn't be able to see them, and they still would have clipped in. So there we go. Just basically sand away until those blocks are gone from that face and that face. We're going to leave them in the step because then they help to locate. So that's what I'm going to do there, guys. So I'll see you back when I've done that, and wish me luck, and hopefully it looks good, and then you can try the same. To remove the blocks, I'm not going to worry too much about this splintering now because we're going to be painting the bottom edge anyway. So I'm going to cut that off of there. Cut that off of there, and it hasn't splintered, luckily. I'm going to use this blade because it's sharper. This plastic is so bloody hard. It really is hard. Hard as nails. Okay, then we can get our medium file. Just file away that sprue gate. And then to actually remove these blocks, piece of masking tape just in case you slip. And I'm going to run this along the edge of where those blocks are. Just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take my glass file, in fact I'm going to move that one in a bit closer to the block. I'm going to take my glass file and just file away until I can feel it smooth. I'm keeping what I've got, the glass file is at a slight angle, so it's not against the masking tape, it's just tipped away like so. And then when I can feel it smooth, take the tape away, and then at a 45-degree angle I should be able to do this until the lump is completely gone. Remember, I'm going to be painting this bottom edge, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's get the super fine, wherever he may be. And there you can see it, and then we'll go across the bottom. Get rid of those blocks from the bottom edge. Now you can see we don't have those silly chrome lumps in there, which look awful. That's better. Still a bit of a step on that one. Yeah, still a step there. Still a step there. There we go. And as you can see now, when we fit this glaze, let's get this dust off. When we fit the glazing in, as you can see, it still clicks in. Alright, it's going to need a drop of glue, but we don't have those horrible chrome blocks at the bottom. I wouldn't worry about painting the inside of the frame, but the trouble is we've got these recesses here, we've got these cutouts in the frame, and if you leave them you'll be able to see them. So I'm not worried about the top ones because they're not really noticeable, because the angle they're on, they're a lot more user friendly, as it were. But, you can still see them there on the top, but on the bottom they're gone. Okay, so we get all of this cleaned up, all these clear parts. We're probably going to end up with a few little scratches and stuff, but hey ho. And then we'll go for it. We've got them on all of them. Look, they've all got these horrible, bloody horrible square blocks, which is bad design, bad design. Sorry about that if you're hanging off the ceiling. Right, and we put that in there, and as you can see, well, that one's not quite so bad. You can still see them there, but it's not so bad. But I'm going to get rid of them anyway and paint all around the frames. So I'll do all of these the same, and then I'll come back. Right, so moving on, you can see here we have our windows masked and with our frames painted black. So let's see, let's use this one here. Let's see how it all looks. Now I've gone on and removed these blocks on the back, as you can see, and basically I'm hoping it's got rid of, just grab some pointed tweezers a second, wherever they may be. Here they are. Go away. And hopefully we will have the effect we're looking for. So we can take this mask off the inside. What I'm hoping to do is save the outer mask, because I've basically cut it roughly around the edge of the window, so then they can be used again. So I know that John Alec is building one of these, and I know he's watching this video because I said got some good ideas on getting rid of these horrible chrome blocks. So that's an idea, John, for your masking. Make your masks before you actually fit them. You can just put the masking tape on and then just go around with a knife and cut the masking tape to the correct size. So there we go. So what we'll do, we'll take this one off of here just to see what it looks like. We'll just do the one, and we can see we've got a nice neat, we'll take this off of here, and I'm going to save that where I always save my masks, in here. So there we go, so there's that one. So that's one window there sorted. We'll put that there. So we can see we've got a nice neat black painted line around that window frame, and then when we put it in, just wondering how it's going to look, and you can see we don't have that horrible chrome blocks everywhere, so that seems to have worked. So obviously now they're going to be glued in because the blocks are what actually held them in. I don't know what's going on there. We've got like a white, I don't know if that's something on the top there. It's like there's something there which is stopping us seeing the black. Really weird. Maybe that's where the sprue gate was. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. What we may end up doing is masking these again from the outside and trimming the mask down and just spraying a black line around the outside. But here's my initial attempt, and as you can see, it does look a hell of a lot better. Let's do this one here because this is the one we were looking at before. So that is this one here, I believe. So we'll take our blob of blue tack off of there. Right, so we'll get underneath the inside and lift this one up. We'll see how it looks. It might look bloody awful, but personally I'd rather see a couple of little scratches or something. I don't need to keep these interior masks because we won't be needing those again, I hope. I would rather see a couple of little marks and scratches we can cover with a bit of dust or whatever, than having those horrible great big chrome blocks. I call them chrome blocks. It's basically just the way the light reflects and bounces around inside the clear parts. So there's our mask for that outer window. I think this is one piece. So we can get in there. There we go, and we'll save this one on here. There we go. So now we can see how this looks. Oh yeah. I think you'll find if you rewind a touch, that's that top one's fallen out. I think you'll find if you rewind a touch, that looks one hell of a lot better than it did before, doesn't it? Let's see what it looks like when it's mounted. Oh yeah. There we go. Obviously going to need gluing in. I'll use some of the crystal clear to glue them in. But we can see we don't have those big horrible chrome blocks at all. So that's my suggestion for improving your model if you want to. There are a few images of them built up. Well, in fact, I think there's one on the actual cover page for this video. And you can see those big chrome blocks in there. So I'm going to go on and strip the rest of these off, and then I'm going to get them glued in with a drop of crystal clear, and then I'll be back. So I will see you all for part 6, will it be? I think this has been part 5, and I'll see you all, and we'll go from there. The stand has all been glued up now. We're waiting for that to dry. One thing I would say, I was mentioning it in Moss's stream tonight, with this VMS black thin, don't be tempted to sand it down too early. If you're not worried about a seam, don't worry about it. But if it's like a fuselage and it's down the centre line, leave it for sort of as long as you can before you sand it back, because if you do it too quick, you will end up with a ghost line. So yeah, it does shrink back if you sand it back too soon, which can be handy if you want a panel line to appear. Then that's pretty good. Well, I'm really happy with that. I've got, as I say, I've got a few little scratches on there, but that's going to look a lot better than those great big shiny blocks down the bottom. And the windows have also got a bit of a frame now, which looks quite good in there, doesn't it? Right, I'll get the rest of my mast, and I will see you all soon for part 6. Thank you for watching. and bye for now.